Hello everyone. In the last class we discussed how to find the inverse Laplace transform of a function by partial fraction method and integral theorem. Today I am sharing with you a new method called convolution theorem, and this method is used to find the inverse Laplace transform of product of two functions. So convolution theorem. This theorem says that if L f of t equal to f of s and L g of t is equal to g of s, then L inverse of f of s into g of s equal to integral 0 to t f of u into g of t minus u du. Okay, so what it says actually, if we have two functions, one is f and the other is g, Laplace transform of f is denoted by capital F of s and Laplace transform of g is denoted by capital G of s. Then what is the inverse of the product of f and g? The product inverse of the product f into g. We can't write this as L inverse of f into L inverse of g. Wrong answer. Okay. See, in this case, we have to apply convolution theorem. This says that the inverse of this product is equal to an integral. We have the same limits of integral in the same as in the previous case. Integral 0 to t f of u. Say, what is f of u? Small f of u. Small f means it is just inverse of capital F. Small g means it is just inverse of capital G. Okay, so f of u means in f of t, you replace t by the new variable u. And in g of t, that t is replaced by t minus u, and remember this is integrated with respect to u and not with respect to the variable t. This is called a convolution theorem. Okay. So look at the first example. Evaluate L inverse of s divided by s square plus a square the whole square. See, we have to find the inverse Laplace transform by the new theorem called convolution theorem. In convolution, we need two functions. See, we should express this as product of two functions. Okay, so what I did is, I wrote this as product of two functions in such a way that the first function is s by s square plus a square into the remaining is 1 by s square plus a square. Okay, therefore, the first one can be treated as capital F and the second one as capital G. Therefore, this is of the form L inverse of f into g. If suppose we should find the inverse of this product by convolution, it is integral 0 to t f of u into g of t minus u du. So, now our aim is to find the small f and small g. Therefore, from the given problem, capital F is equal to s by s square plus a square. From capital F, small f of t is cos a t. It is just inverse. Okay. Therefore, f of u is, you replace t by u. So, f of u is cos a u. Okay. Then, capital G is 1 by s square plus a square. From capital G, what is just inverse of this? It is small g. So, small g is 1 by s square plus a square. Whose inverse? What is it? It is 1 by a sin a t. But in the integrand, we should substitute g of t minus u, right? Therefore, when you are renaming t by t minus u, it is 1 by a sin a into t is replaced by t minus u. Therefore, 1 by a sin a t minus a u. Okay, so now we have the two functions f and g. Okay, that can be substituted in this integral. Therefore, this becomes integral 0 to t cos a u into sin a t minus a u into du. Now, our aim is to integrate this. Remember, it is with respect to u. You can apply for AB formulate the product cos A sin B or sin A cos B. You convert this product to a sum form. Okay, and integrate. Treated as in the form 2 sin A cos B. See, we have sin AT minus AU into cos AU. This is of the form sin A cos B. A is AT minus AU and B is AU. Therefore, by this formula, it is sin A plus B. See, A plus B first. A plus B means AT minus AU plus AU. Minus AU and plus AU get cancelled. We will get sin AT. So, sin A plus B plus sin A minus B. So, A minus B. AT minus AU minus AU. So, AT minus 2AU. Okay, so sin AT minus 2AU into TU, keep in mind with respect to U. Now, 1 by, there is a 1 by 2. See, there is no 2 here, isn't it? Therefore, 1 by 2 into that 1 by 2 can be taken outside. So, 1 by 2A. Now, we are integrating. Remember, sin AT, this is entirely a function of t and we are integrating with respect to u. Therefore, sin AT whose integral is u sin AT. Okay. Now, sin AT minus 2AU, this contains u and t. Now, when you are integrating this with respect to u, sin becomes minus cos. So, minus cos AT minus 2AU divided by coefficient of u. Coefficient of u is minus 2a with limits of 0 to t. Okay. So, 1 by 2a into, when you are substituting the upper limit to t, it is t sin AT plus, for the variable u we are substituting t. So, t sin AT. Now, when you are putting u is equal to t here, it is AT minus 2AT, it is minus AT, but cos of minus is cos itself. And here one negative sign, denominator there is a negative sign, so it becomes plus. Then the second term reduces to cos AT divided by 2a. See, these two terms we are obtaining by substituting the upper limit minus lower limit. When you are putting u is equal to 0, the first term vanishes. Okay. And the second term will be, this is already plus, but for putting the lower limit we have the negative sign. So, minus cos, see this becomes 0. So, cos AT divided by 2a. And you can see we have plus cos AT by 2a and minus cos AT by 2a. These two terms get cancelled. So, the final answer is 1 by 2a into t sin AT, and this is the final answer.